the studio. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Aquarium Online Academy. My name is Amanda, and I'm coming to you live from the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California. And I'm so happy you decided to join us today because we're going to be going on a virtual whale watch together. But if you would like to participate along with us and let me know what you're seeing, what you're thinking, and any questions that you might have for us as we go whale watching, I invite you to contact us at the number that you see on the screen right now. This 562-286-1838. And during our program, if you have thoughts, questions, any comments that you want to share, you can just text us, and my friend Sophie will be able to tell me what it is that you're asking, and we'll be able to answer that live on air during the program. Now, if you're watching this at a later time and you're like, oh, that was really cool, but I have some questions, you can also email us any questions that you have by emailing them to the other one on the screen, live@lbaop.org, and one of our educators will be happy to respond to you at a later time. So in whichever way you prefer to participate along with us, we welcome you to participate. Or maybe you're just in a room and you just want to shout out your ideas at the screen, that's fine too. But let's go ahead and get started. Are you ready to go whale watching today? How many of you have ever been whale watching or have ever seen a whale? Have you? They're pretty exciting. Now, how do you see whales? How do we know where they are? Where do you go? Well, whales live in the ocean, of course. They are marine mammals. And so with the fact that they are mammals, that means that they have all the same 5 mammal characteristics that you and I have. They have hair, believe it or not. Yes, they do. You may have thought, I've never seen a dolphin wearing braids before, but maybe they don't have that much hair on their body, but all mammals are born with hair. So even whales and dolphins are born with hairs. They might lose them as they get older, but they still have hairs. So they have hair, they breathe air, they nurse their young, and they give live birth, and they're warm-blooded. So that means they have a constant body temperature. So all of these things are true about the whales and dolphins that we'll be looking for today because they are marine mammals that live in the ocean. All right, so to go out on the ocean and see them in the ocean, what kinds of things do we need to make sure that we're ready for? Because we're going to make this as real as we can. All right, are you ready? So think about it. If you're going on a boat, what would you want to have with you if you wanted to go out on a boat in search of whales? Well, we want to be able to see them pretty well, so you might need to have some binoculars. So make sure you bring your binoculars with you. Now, maybe you have real binoculars. You can get those out if you want. I have my 2 hands for my binoculars. And let's see, what else might we need? Well, it does get pretty cold out there, especially this time of year, so you want to make sure you have a nice warm jacket on. In fact, it's really good to wear layers when you're going out whale watching. So maybe even have maybe another sweatshirt you could put on. In fact, maybe I will put on my jacket here, just so I'm not too cold out there. Okay, so I've got my jacket. All right, so I'm ready to go. Oops, I'm losing my microphone. Ready to go with my jacket. And then Sophie just found me some really nice binoculars. So instead of just using my hands like this, I think I can use these. Wow, nice. So now I can see things really far away and make them seem like they're much, much closer. Okay, so I've got my binoculars. I've got my layers on. You might want to put on a beanie if it's really cold out there, because when you're out on the water, even during the summer, it can feel a lot cooler. So it's good to make sure that you're prepared with nice warm clothes. And then, of course, you want to make sure you have shoes on that aren't going to have you slipping all over the place, because as the boat moves with the waves, it can also get wet sometimes on a boat. So you want to make sure that you have shoes on that are going to prevent you from slipping. So even if you don't have those right now, you can imagine you've got those good, strong surface shoes on. Okay, so you don't slip. Let's see, what else? Am I missing anything, Sophie? What kinds of other equipment do we need when we go whale watching? Oh, sunglasses. Oh, where are my sunglasses? I've got sunglasses, but I have a feeling if I put them on my head, they might look a little funny in here. No, actually, it's okay. All right, so I've got my sunglasses because there's a lot of glare that comes from the water, and I think we're all set. Are you ready to go? All right. So now as we go on down to the boat, there's a couple things to keep in mind as you get on the boat. Remember, the boat's on water. So imagine the water's moving like this. And then you're on the dock. And when you get on the dock, or when you're going down the dock, so let's walk on down the dock. Okay, so we're walking down. Now we're on the boat. So let's take a nice careful step on because you don't want to fall into the water. So step onto the boat. All right, and then get oriented. See where you want to sit. Do you want to sit up at the front, which is what we call the bow of the boat? That's the part that goes up and down in the waves a lot. Or do you want to stay maybe seated near the back where it's a little bit what we call stern? It's the stern of the boat, which doesn't move as much. It kind of stays more, not as bumpy, not as much up and down. Or do you want to sit on the side so you have a nice, good view? Well, think about where you want to sit on the boat and then go find yourself a seat. And now let's get ready. So we've got our binoculars and we need to make sure we listen to the safety talk of the captain because they're going to tell us where the life preservers are located if we need them. And we need to know where the bathroom is if you need to go to the bathroom. All right, are you all set now? Okay. Oh, you might even want a snack. They have a snack stand, I think, downstairs, but you can have whatever you brought at home. You can bring some with you too. So now, as we're going whale watching, what are we going to be looking for? How do we find whales? Do they just jump out of the water for us to make it easy for us to see? Or can you think of any way that we might spot a whale? Well, what would be the reasons that we would see a whale? Why would a whale lives most of its time underwater? But it does have to come to the top every so often to do what? That's right, to breathe. And so when a whale breathes air, and to get it to go down into their lungs, how do they do that? Do they have a nose on the front of their head that they just stick up into the air like this? No, their nostrils are on the top of their head, and we have a special name for them. Do you know what they're called? Blowholes. So they have two blowholes up on top of their head, just like nostrils, and then they breathe through those. And that's how we can find our whales. Even when they're a good distance out, we're looking for what we call a blow. See if you can make a blow with me. Ready? You're going to be a whale. Go. That's right. And so that blow goes high up into the air. And that blow is what we can see from a distance coming up out of the water. And we know that, hey, there's a whale right there. But again, this is air. It might look like it's squirting water out the top of their head, but it's not. It might be capturing the water that's sitting on top of their head when they come to the surface before they breathe in new air. They have to let out the old air. And so if they let out that old air really strong and loud, it causes any water on top of their blowhole to go up into the air and allow us to see it. So we're going to be looking for a blow. So the way we do this is we scan our eyes across the horizon and look for something that looks like a big puff of smoke or something coming from the water. And then we keep looking. We keep watching because sometimes there are other animals out in the water that like to pretend to be whales. You know what they are? They're birds. Diving birds love to dive into the water like pelicans. And then when they make a splash, it comes up and it kind of looks like a whale blow. So if you think you see a blow and you keep on looking in that same spot and there's just a bird sitting at the surface of the water, that's not a whale. You just saw a diving bird making a really big splash. So we're going to look for those things. But there's also another smaller animal. So we all know that whales are big animals, but they have relatives that are a little bit smaller that we tend to see more often, especially if you go down to the beach and you see people surfing in the waves. Sometimes you can see these animals surfing alongside with them. They're dolphins. So dolphins are a lot smaller, and they tend to be in large groups, or at least in groups with other dolphins. And so sometimes we can find dolphins too, even at a distance, by looking for splashes. So if you see a lot of splashing going on, we'll keep our eyes looking, keep our eyes peeled, and we'll see if we can find some dolphins. Okay? All right, so are you ready? We're on the boat. Now we're oriented. We know what we're looking for. And looks like today we have Captain Sophie driving our boat. And so let's look at this beautiful water. We have beautiful conditions for whale watching today, everyone. Get out your binoculars and let's carefully look. And you need to look on all sides of the boat too, because the whales are not always going to be hanging out just in front of the boat. Sometimes they're going to be even behind you. Now, probably not when we're still in the harbor, but now we've gotten down. It looks like a beautiful day on the water. Look at how smooth it is. Well, let's see. I don't see anything yet. But let's see. Keep your eyes open. Do you see any splashes? Oh, wait. Oh, we're picking up speed. Did you notice that? That must mean that our captain spotted something in the distance. So I wonder what our captain found. Ooh, let's keep looking. Let's see. Do you see anything? Lots of blue water. Look for splashes or look for a blow. Let's see. What do we see? Captain Sophie said she sees splashes. So, oh my goodness, do you see this? Check it out. What did we find? Are these big whales? No, these are dolphins, everyone. Look at these dolphins. Now, what kind of dolphins are they, I wonder? Are these the same ones that we see? I'm noticing something about them. Look, let's look at them carefully. Maybe get out your binoculars and take a closer look. Well, this one actually has, this is even a different one, I think, that has this cool coloration on the side of it. Look at that. It's not all one solid color. A lot of times I think about dolphins all being like all gray, but look at this one. This one has, what colors do you see on it? Yeah, you see white on the bottom, so the underside of it is all white. And then the very tip of the front of it is black. And then it's got some dark gray here, and then also some smaller streaks and this big white side. Well, this white-sided edge lets us know that this is what we call a Pacific white-sided dolphin. And another really cool thing about Pacific white-sided dolphins is looking at their dorsal fin. So this fin on the back of a dolphin is what we call a dorsal fin. Do you know why? Well, the word dorsal means back. So if you were to pat yourself on the back, that is your dorsal side. So any animal that has a fin on its back has a dorsal fin. So dolphins have a dorsal fin, and the dorsal fin on a Pacific white-sided dolphin is how many colors? What colors do you see? Yeah, they've got the dark color and the light color. So they've got a little bit of this light gray or white, and then this darker gray or black at the top. So it's a black and white, or dark gray and light gray, two-color, a bicolor dorsal fin. So that's one of the ways that we can tell when we can only see the dorsal fins coming out of the water. If they're not leaping out of the water like this energetic one is, we know it's a Pacific white-sided dolphin. And they're common here along our coast of the Pacific Ocean here in Southern California. And so I think they're beautiful. I love looking at their beautiful, beautiful markings. But also look at this. What do we say this thing was called on the top of their head? That's right, it's a blowhole. Now remember when I mentioned that whales have two blowholes? Well, not all whales have two blowholes. Some have one. And a dolphin, like the Pacific white-sided dolphin, is a good example of one of these. And the reason it only has one is because it's in a different category of whales. So some whales have baleen inside their mouth, and some whales have teeth. So if we were to look inside the mouth of this dolphin, we would see teeth. Now, I actually have with me a model of a different type of dolphin. Oh, and you can't see it very well here. So let me try taking it over to my webcam, or not my webcam, my document camera, and see if I can show it to you this way. And let's see, let's turn some light on, maybe make it a little bit brighter for you. Or maybe that's too bright. But this is the skull of a bottlenose dolphin. Now this is, I should say, it's a model of a skull. It's not actually from a real dolphin, but this is what it looks like. And if we were to open their mouth, we would see all these little tiny teeth. Now, what do you notice about their teeth? Are they all the same size? Yes, they are, aren't they? Here's a comparison. So they're, they're not too big, but yeah, they're all the same size. What about their shape? Is their shape different? Not really. They're all the same shape, aren't they? Now, these are what we call cone-shaped teeth. So they have all these cone-shaped teeth in their mouth, and then they work together to help them capture slippery, slimy fish and squid and allow them to swallow them whole. So they don't really chew their food at all. So these animals, they might grab their fish with their mouth, and then they just move it around a little bit so that they swallow their fish whole in their mouths. No chewing. Interesting. So pointy teeth, and they have all whales and dolphins that have pointy teeth or any teeth inside their mouth have one blowhole. So if you ever see one hole on the top of an animal, you'll know what they have inside their mouth. They have teeth inside their mouth. Well, you might think, Amanda, what do you mean? Do whales not have teeth inside their mouth? Not all whales do. In fact, the really big ones have something else. Do you want to see what that is? I have a sample of some baleen from a different type of whale called a humpback whale. And let me show you what the baleen looks like. Wow, this is a little bit different looking, isn't it? This is what we call one plate of baleen. And this hangs down from the roof of the whale's mouth. And here's a side view, because this is quite a few plates of baleen that we're looking at. And this was what you would see that looks almost like teeth. Maybe I should put it this way. Like if the whale was to smile, this is the part that you would see, all these straight edges of the baleen plates. But if you were a little tiny krill or some food inside the mouth of a whale, this is what you would see. This is probably the last view you'd get if you were a little tiny krill in the mouth of a whale. Because as they take in all the whale or all of the water in their mouth, then it gets pushed out against or through all these sort of these frayed edges. See how this is the edge? This is just the other edge of this plate of baleen. And all these edges are kind of frayed. It kind of looks like hair. Well, that is in fact what baleen is. It's made out of the same material called keratin that your hair and our fingernails are also made out of. So this part is more like the hair. This part feels a little bit more like fingernails. But this is where they filter out all of their food that's in their mouth. So that's from a humpback whale. So let's continue our whale watch and get our binoculars out again and see what we might be able to find out on the water. So we got to see those dolphins that were jumping up and showing us their blowholes and their dorsal fins. Well, now let's see what else we can find out there. Ready? Let me know if you think you see something. Let's see. Have you noticed anything, Captain Sophie? Oh, okay. She said she thinks she saw some blows off in the distance. So we're going to speed it up. So make sure you're holding on to your hat because it gets really, really windy out here. Oh my goodness. Look, we're going pretty fast. Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? I still see a little bit of stuff. Oh, look at that right there. What is that? Oh, there's another one on the other side of the boat. Oh, that's so cool. It just went diving below the surface, so it might be a little while before we see that one again. Here comes another one. Whoa. Look at that. Look at the tail of those whales. Yeah. Now, what kind of whale could this be? Because this is, oh, we even saw it looked like there were two blowholes on that one. So this is definitely a whale. This would be a baleen whale. And did you notice anything else special or unique about this whale? Let's look again. Oh, let's look. Here's a still shot we were able to capture. Sophie's also a great photographer. Thanks for getting this for us, Sophie. And look, what colors do you see? How many colors do you see? Yeah, I'm seeing some kind of black and white again. It seems to be a pretty common color scheme in the ocean, or at least dark gray and light gray. And so I'm seeing that, but I'm also noticing other things. I'm seeing like little circles and little circle spots on them. And I'm also seeing some other stuff that seems to be stuck to the tail of the whale. Now, the tail of a whale, we actually call it the flukes. Each side, each half is considered a fluke. So one fluke here, and then one fluke over here. So together, those two flukes make the flukes, or those flukes, yeah, make the flukes or the tail of the whale. Oh. Oh, wait, Sophie was saying she thinks she sees some feeding behavior too. Let's see what that looks like. Let's be looking on all sides of the boat. Oh yeah, there's another one. Oh my goodness, check that out. That's so cool. Did you see it open its mouth like that? Whoa, look at that. In fact, did you, oh, I think we had a sea lion in the water too. Oh, there's some sea lions that were jumping there. Yeah, they almost look like dolphins, but they don't have dorsal fins. Oh, there's that beautiful tail, that whale again too. But, Oh, also, Sophie got this great picture of this whale right here. This is the same kind of whale we were just looking at. And remember how I said I saw 2 blowholes? And so I know that this was a baleen whale. Look at this great view of the baleen inside this humpback whale. Okay, I gave it away. This is a humpback whale. And the humpback whale, one of the ways that I knew it was a humpback whale was actually because of this little hump that it has on its back in front of its dorsal fin. I don't know if you noticed, but the dorsal fin on a humpback whale isn't a nice little triangle, or it's not like a curved little triangle like our Pacific white-sided dolphin has. It has kind of this funny little bump, and then it kind of goes into a dorsal fin on its back, but it's not quite as distinct as other whale fins are. So maybe we'll have to keep our eyes open for that again when we see other pictures of them. But I noticed the eye of the whale right here and all these baleen plates hanging down from the roof of their mouth. Notice there are no baleen plates here on the bottom. Isn't that interesting? They only have them on the top. So we have teeth on the top and the bottom of our mouths, but baleen whales only have baleen on the top and not on the bottom. Whereas we know dolphins also have teeth on the top and bottom like we do. But of course, remember, how many blowholes do they have? That's right, just 1. But this one has 2. So it's like big, gigantic nostrils right on top of its head. And look, did you notice these bumps? Yeah, they also have these special little bumps called tubercles. And inside each one of those is where one little hair used to be living. And there might actually be some hairs still hanging out on this adult whale. But yeah, that's where they have hairs. And then also these little scars right here, these little tiny circle shapes, that's where they used to have other animals called barnacles living on them, just like we saw on the tail of that humpback whale earlier. Now there's also something else that's really special and unique about the humpback whales. Remember how we were talking about how they have a dorsal fin on their back? Well, they also have these fins or flippers on the side. And the flippers of a humpback whale are really long. And they're also really white. They have these white flippers that sometimes you can see from the surface of the water. I wonder if we go back and if we keep seeing them, if we can find one of those views of the humpback whale's pectoral flippers on the side. Oh, okay. So we're going to move on down. It sounds like Captain Sophie found an area where they might be actually leaping out of the water. So that might be a good way. Over here, she said off in the distance, she saw some that were doing some leaping and breaching. Oh, she got a picture for us. This is great because it happened on the other side of the boat when we weren't looking. But look at this great view of these pectoral flippers. Look at how big they are and how long and floppy they look. But look at the white color on them. Isn't that interesting? I think it's really fun when you get to see them from the surface of the water and you see this dark body and then you see these white flippers kind of sticking out to the side. And it's really neat. That's how you know that you found a humpback whale. But look at it lifting its whole body out of the water like that. Why do you think whales breach like this? Why do you think they jump out of the water? Could it be that they're just having fun and it's just like jumping up and down on a trampoline? Could be. Could it be they're trying to communicate something? It could be. Maybe they're trying to communicate something to other whales or saying something else to other species. Or could it just be that they're looking around, maybe want to see what's going on, or maybe trying to get some of those barnacles and other things on their body off of them. Or maybe it gives them a good scratch or something. Have you ever tried doing a belly flop on the water? That doesn't feel very good, but they seem to really enjoy it. So we don't know. Scientists don't know for certain why it is that whales breach because we can't go up and ask them. We can't just give them an interview. But we know that there are different reasons that they might do it. So we're not sure, but it's always fun to be on a whale watch trip when we can see something like this happen. All right, well, let's keep on looking on the water and let's see if there's anything else that might be out there that we can enjoy today. Now look at what a beautiful day it is. The water is pretty calm. You can see some waves, but it's not too bad. So I hope you're enjoying this. You might feel a little bit of the motion of the boat. Do you feel it as we're moving? All right, hopefully it's not too strong. Okay, not too bad today. Oh, Sophie says she sees maybe a group of something off in the distance. So they're off in the distance, so hang on to your hats because we might need to speed up to catch them. Whoa. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness! Look at this! Now this, we have some big tall dorsal fins here. And also, boy, there's a bunch of them. Are these, it almost looks like there's just one blowhole that I can see on these. So these look like they're some sort of toothed animal. So could it be another dolphin? Or wait a minute, they look so big though to be a dolphin. Or is it, in fact, maybe the largest member of the dolphin family? Does anyone know what the largest member of the dolphin family is? Let's maybe see if we can find another picture of him. Oh, do you recognize this animal here? Yeah, this one is an orca. So here we have killer whales, and this one is leaping out of the water for us to get that great view of that black body, that white eye patch, and that white underbody. Aren't they beautiful? They are beautiful, beautiful animals, and they do tend to swim in pods, and they stay with their families. So they like to stay in their families with their mom. So the mom likes to kind of oversee everyone. She's kind of in charge. And all of her siblings, all of her offspring like to stay nearby her, which is kind of cool. So orcas are pretty neat animals. They are the largest member of the dolphin family. And so that means that their teeth inside their mouth are also cone-shaped. So they have the same shaped teeth, kind of like the dolphins did, just on a much bigger scale. So I don't know if I have any orca teeth with me. I have something similar. I'm sure I have an orca tooth around somewhere. Maybe on the boat I can find one. Oh, wait, I might. Do you have? Oh. Well, let's see. I'm not sure. I can show you a bigger version of a tooth. This is not from a killer whale. This is from, oh, still can't see it here. I have to come back to my camera over here. This is a tooth from a sperm whale, which is the largest whale species, the largest, or not the largest whale species, the largest toothed whale species. So the sperm whale has really big teeth. The orca has a tooth that's a little bit smaller than that, closer to this size right here. So you can see there is still a size difference, and these are much bigger than my dolphin teeth. But I think they're some of the prettiest animals that we have out there. Well, it looks like it is time to wrap up our whale watch and get you all back to the dock. So I hope that you have enjoyed going whale watching with me today and getting to see some Pacific white-sided dolphins and humpback whales and killer whales today. And maybe one day you'll be able to go out on a boat and see an actual whale with your own eyes. And I hope you get that opportunity because it really is amazing to see our largest animals on Earth right off our coast. It's pretty exciting. And again, if you have any other questions that you'd like to email us at any time at live@lbaop.org, and we'll be happy to respond. So thanks for joining us today and have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.